Hi, my name is Jason and I am a foster dad. And I wanted to make this video today to help some people who might be thinking about adoption or fostering to adopt, maybe guide you a little bit on the experience that you might have. And I did it because I just felt kind of compelled to do that today, given the recent events in Boston and some other things, and the importance I place upon family. I just want to maybe inspire some people to be able to get the courage to go out there and take some steps in looking into fostering to adopt or adoption of kids in need. And somewhere below, you will find some information that can help guide you in that when you're ready to take those steps. So, again, I guess this is my journey or my family's journey, and I have a couple of things written down here. So if you see me looking off, it's because I wanted to kind of stay on point with this. Okay, so we started roughly a year ago looking into the process. My wife and I already have one son. He is 8 years old, about to turn 9 in a couple days, and we weren't able to have any more. That just wasn't in the cards for us. So we discussed it and felt that we wanted to look into adoption. At first, that was my wife's. She wanted to do adoption because she wanted what would some people would say, I guess, more control over the situation. But I felt that you know after some research, there's really no sure thing with adoption either. It's an expensive process, um, and that's money that could be better spent on helping kids actually instead of just kind of legal paperwork. So I mean, there are plenty of kids in need. I felt that if I would rather have a good influence, even if it's temporarily, on the lives of say 10 kids than maybe put all this effort into one child that may still turn out not to happen for whatever reason. And again, if you do a little research, you'll find that none of that's guaranteed, even with these agencies. Things fall through, etc. Not to be scared of it. This video is about having the courage to move forward, but just to let you know that every step you make forward, you will learn new things, and in the end, it's in God's hands what child you end up with. But I will tell you this: that once you get into the system, you will be able to do good, and you will feel you have done the right thing. So again, we started about a year ago, got qualified. We started asking questions. If you know anybody who has adopted, that's a great place to start. With us, when we were talking about it, we found out that there was a couple in our church, Chris and Kelly Hanley, and they had actually adopted six, including one 15-year-old, and there was a whole lot of little ones, and it was funny. It was like a little gang, and we found out about them and decided to introduce ourselves. And I will say this: that was the start of a beautiful friendship. So another tip would be to start up a dialogue with people who have adopted. Also, my wife's boss had adopted from China, and they also had some experiences, one bad and one good, but in the end, they did were able to get a daughter, me, a beautiful girl, and so that turned out great. With the Hanleys, like I said, they had four adoptions that went through pretty quickly, and then there was, well, as we've known them, they actually succeeded in two, and then they have two in the process now. So I just want to let you know that um, although they're not necessarily quick, they can take years. It's good to have people around you to support you. And my wife and Kelly became really good friends and supported each other through the ups and downs. And you're really going to need something like that. So there are support groups, and I know it's kind of daunting when you just get random people on maybe the internet, Facebook, whatever. But all I'm saying is take some steps to reach out to people that are local to you. It would definitely help you hearing from them. So as we're going through the process, we started out in one county, in Philadelphia County, and To be honest with you, that's probably the part that scares people a lot when they make you go to the classes, because there's all these rules and regulations, and you hear horror stories or just the stuff that you're like, well, wow, man, I don't know if I can deal with that. And yet, some people fall out. But the good thing about those classes is you also meet people who have succeeded in it and have been a good influence on maybe not just one but many kids' lives. A lot of times those are people in their own families that have taken them, which is always the preferred method. People, they call it kinship. They want people from the families to take them, and there'll be a little bit more about that in a minute. But you will meet some people and get some input that will help you decide how to take things further. Now, I will say that when we first got involved with Philadelphia County, I'm not going to say anything bad or good. I'm just going to say that it was a little scary. After some discussion, we actually found out that we were qualified to go to the neighboring county, which was Bucks County, and which what was good about that is because Kelly knew some of the caseworkers, and we were able to actually talk to them and get a better feel for it. Because I'm a man, and I'm used to just moving forward, and I don't get that emotionally attached, or so they say. But my wife needed more assurances, and she wanted to be more familiar with people and know who she was working with. And I'm pretty sure that if you're a woman listening to this, then you're probably going to want that too. So again, look for people who already went through the system and get their recommendations from people who they've worked with, so that you can kind of get an introduction to that person, and hopefully that person takes your case. So we were fortunate enough to get some of the same people that worked on the Hanleys, and because they were our friends, they were also good recommendations, so that also helped the process. So once we got through a lot of those hoops, and it's paperwork and following up, and they check you out, federal background checks, and just all kinds of stuff. But it's paperwork. It's stuff you can do. Same thing if you had a job application or mortgage. It is a person's life, so it's probably necessary that there's more paperwork instead of less. We were qualified, and we started to get phone calls. We were personally looking for a girl. We already have a boy. We were looking for a little girl of a certain age, and you are allowed to sort of tell them what you will and what you aren't willing to do. We were pretty open, but we were more focused on a girl. Well, we were called, and it was actually a 4-year-old girl and a 2-year-old boy. That was Nicholas and Natalia, and I'll show you a picture of them right now. That's what they look like. If you can see them. Okay. So anyway, we started with Nicholas and Natalia. I got to visit them at the home that they were in, Christ Home, and got to experience the orphanage, or what people know as orphanages, firsthand. And I'll tell you the truth, the place was really nice in the way they had the kids there. It wasn't overcrowded. The way they had the sets of home parents, I guess they call them. We were introduced to that culture, and to tell you the truth, like I said, it gave us more, it made us more comfortable with the process, to know that they were being raised well where they were, and that there was a lot of love and care there. So that's another thing you would never know unless you went through the process. Well, the story with Nicholas and Natalia is we were close to having them stay with us. In other words, like bringing them into our home. Unfortunately, and I don't know whether it was because we looked serious, but the family members stepped up to do their duty finally, even though the kids were in the system for more than 15 months, which they're not supposed to be in there that long. But that was God's will, and we still think about them, and keep up with them. But you know it wasn't meant to be. Anyway, so we got a few more calls for some other possible children, and one of them was we didn't feel like we could handle them because of medical issues. And then there was another one, and unfortunately, the last minute before that one came, something happened, and the family also stepped up. So just be prepared. And it's a good thing when the family steps up. Somebody that's related to them. That's what they should do. That's what we're here for. And to be honest, I feel like if I have to be the kick in the ass for people to step up and do what's right with their kids, then so be it. The threat that is there, that they see that they're going to lose something precious. Now, sorry about that. This has a good ending. So in our search, one day my wife was called to go check out another baby. I wasn't able to go, and she went and saw him, and she said she fell in love with him as soon as she saw him. And I mean, I guess that's kind of like when a woman has a child. Naturally, maybe that happens. I guess, but she said that he was the one. So of course I had to say, okay, bring him. Even though we were looking for a girl, let's take the boy. Haven't regretted it since we got him at 3 months. He was a joy, even though there were there was a possibility of medical issues due to something, the history of the parents. Um, he was well behaved, happy baby, and I don't know what my life would be like without him. So I just wanted to let you know that there is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Now, we still are in the process of the adoption. Over time, after the paperwork, there's paperwork to be done, and you need the parents to release, their rights for the child. Our caseworker really fought for us and also did a lot of, I guess, being an ambassador, working with the parents to get them on board. And what we discovered is the parents were, they're in a bad place. They're people too, and they wanted to check us out. So once they got to know who we were, because unfortunately that it was generational with them. The mother had bad experiences. It was also in the foster care system, and the father had other issues with his parents. So this was, something that was more than just the parents. It was to the grandparents and everything. But once they met us and got to sit with us, and that can be scary too. When my wife was scared about it, I was there as well. But I think they wanted to make sure that their child was going to be with people that weren't going to be, that were going to be stable. And once they did meet us, both parents, not at the same time, but both parents did sign away their rights. Now, I say that, and I guess the reason for this video today was I actually have to go pick him up shortly in about an hour for a visit with his mother. And again, we're not completely through the process, but I just wanted to do this video to encourage people who may, be thinking about it or worried about it to have some courage and some faith and belief that you will have a positive impact in a child's life, that that you can do good in this world, that you don't have to be scared, that not everything's always going to go perfect and right, but when the right one, when the right child is presented, you being there, it's going to be the greatest thing that you could ever do in a child's life. And like I said, I just wanted to bring a little happiness into the world and maybe encourage some people to take some action, go out there and look into, possibly fostering a child or fostering to adopt. It can be scary, but it's nothing you can't handle. And you just get yourself around the right people, find people who have done it, and just, connect with them, talk to them. I mean, I'm here. I'm probably going to leave some information below this video. I'll try to guide you. I'll put some links there to some people that we're familiar with. We're also actually doing a fundraising event for it's called Bethany, that they raise awareness for foster parents and adopting. So again, I just wanted to help encourage some people who may be thinking about that or have thought about it to take some steps forward, look into it further, and take some action and become a positive influence in a child's life. That's it for me. Thank you.